Hello crafty people, welcome back to Selena's Crafty Lab. Today we are going to do something that I haven't actually covered thoroughly in a video. We are going to talk about HTV vinyl and layering. Now when we are working with vinyl, layering it can be quite a difficult process, and also using Cricut Design Space, how to put our pieces together, getting them ready to send them over to our cutting device. But before we get into the vinyl process of cutting and building it, I'm just going to do a quick explanation on when we're layering HTV and why we have to do the steps that we do. So we're just going to jump to our overhead camera so you can see what is happening in front of me, and I'll do a bit of an explanation. Okay, so this is our canvas. This is our piece of fabric that we're going to apply our product to. And what we're going to do is this is a little bit of extra HTV from a cutout that I did for this project. So we're just going to use this in our example. So this is the shape that we want to cut out. And we want to cut this out in Design Space. I don't just want to cut out one color, I want to cut out 3 colors, okay? So this is our basic shape that we're going to start with in our first piece of HTV, and it's directly onto our fabric, okay? Our next piece of HTV, the cutout that we want to do is we want to put a little border around this to make this a little bit bigger, but have a contrasting color on our border. Now I've scribbled on a piece of paper to kind of give you an idea, a rudimentary idea of what it is that I'm trying to do. Okay, so this is our piece of paper, our HTV that I've kind of scribbled on, and it is just a rough drawing, so please don't look too closely. What I have got is my original shape, and then this one here is the cutout that I want to do. So that's the extension of the color. Now if I were to just cut this out in vinyl and this out in vinyl, and layer the two together, you have 2 bits of vinyl. There's a lip there, so it's not flush, okay? It's sticking above my canvas, it's sticking out to start with, and it's vinyl on top of vinyl. And you can do it, but not successfully when you're using HTV. So we now need to cut this image out of our second piece of HTV. So that's when we, in Design Space, I'll show you how I do that. So we cut that image out, and then we end up with our 2 images. So we've got our outside border that we've cut out, our second piece of vinyl is this piece here that we've cut out, and it is flush. It's a flush piece, okay, because what's happened is it's slotted inside that border. Then I want to cut out these bits here, which you'll see are in a different color, and they're the little inserts, and I need to cut them out of this, because if you slot that on in between there and then you put those little cutout pieces on top, it is not going to bond properly to your vinyl. You actually need to cut those little pieces out as a separate piece of vinyl. So it'll be 3 sheets of vinyl we'll be using, and those there will be cut out of this middle image, and then they will slot inside, and it will become one flat image where all your vinyls all line up and they're nice and smooth and they're flat, and you've got no layers popping up or sticking out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over into Design Space, and we're going to start pulling this apart, and I'm going to explain to you step by step what I'm doing, and then we're going to cut it out and put this project together. So let's head on over to Design Space and get stuck into that. Alright, so we're over in Cricut Design Space. What we're going to do is we're going to go New Project and Blank Canvas, and in here I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to start writing butterfly. Okay, and this is the butterfly we're going to pick, so I'm going to click on that and close this because I don't need it anymore. She's a little bit large, that's okay. We're just going to shrink it down a bit just so it fits on our canvas and we can see it a bit better. Now this is our first image that we were talking about that I cut out of the canvas that I showed you. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and click on offset, and we want to apply an offset to this background. I'll just move it so that you can see what we're doing. So we'll just pop it down here, offset. So now you can see there's a border that has been put around our image. Okay, so that's our offset. So we're going to click, it's on 0.635. You can edit this by just moving your bar out if you want your offset to be bigger, if you want to have a really big border, if you just want to have a really tiny little thin border, you can do that. So you can see this offset has also offset the images on the inside as well. So I've got an outside border and an inside border. Now if I wanted to do that, that'd be perfectly fine. I could just click apply, and that would give me that border, right? So we've got our main color and we've got our offset. So that offset is literally given us the smallest border. And if we just attach it, I'm just going to align it center so you can see perfectly. I've got a nice thin little border going around the outside of our image. Okay, so we've got two we've got two cuts there. If I was happy to leave it like that, I would. But I want to do these inside colors as well. Okay, I want to cut these out into a different color. So this is our first cut and this is our second. This is going to be our offset. So we're going to leave this. We're not going to play with this at the moment because we want to keep it the shape it is. We're going to go and click on this image and we're going to duplicate it. So hit duplicate. So we have two. We have one cut file and one that we're going to work with. I'm just going to zoom out and find another spot on my page. Put these to the side so you can see what I'm up to. So we want to cut out these little bits on the inside are the ones we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a shape. I'm going to just pick a square for now. Bring my square over here and we're just going to resize it and make it kind of as big as we can. Just move our page across. Okay, make sure it's bigger than our image that we've cut, that we've duplicated, and it is. So it's come up with a little warning, so don't worry about that. We're not actually going to be keeping this piece. But what we're going to do is we're going to right hand click on it and this is going to come up and we're going to go send to back. So now our image is in front, which is what we want. But I don't want all this stuff on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this layer and hit my shift button and click on this layer. And so now you'll see these two layers are connected. I'm going to go down to the bottom here where it says slice. And I'm going to click the slice button. So now you'll see we've got a slice, another slice, and our main. So here it all says slice results. These are all the ones that have been cut. So we're just going to click on each individual one. For example, this pink one, we don't need this anymore because we've done our slice. So we can either hide it by clicking on the eye and hide that image, or we can delete it, which is what we're going to do. So I'm going to click on it and hit the delete button. So now that's deleted. Now we've got this image and this image. Now we have this already. We don't need another one of these. So again, you can hide it with the eye, or I'm going to click the delete button. So now that's gone. All right, so this is what we've got. We've got all these little bits that we've been looking for to go inside. So we just change the color just so I can show you what I'm doing. We're going to change it to blue for this example. And this is our main image here. Oops, we need to bring it to the front. So right hand click, bring to front. And I place it over the top. See how those little inserts now are a different color. But we don't need this blue background. You just click on it and you click contour. You would be able to remove those backgrounds. So I'm going to click on that one there, which is the butterfly image, and I'm going to click on the square, and so that is now gone, and then close. And now you'll see I have just those inserts. They are just there. That's all we have left. So this now goes on top of here. So that's our vinyl piece number 2, and then we've got our vinyl piece number 3. But See, it's a full piece and it is sitting underneath this image, but you're layering another piece of vinyl on top of another piece of vinyl, so that's not going to work, is it? So we know this piece is perfect. This piece needs this cutting out of it. So we're going to right hand click and duplicate, because we don't want to lose our piece that is our top piece of vinyl. So pop that to the side. We're going to get these two and we're going to highlight them. Going to go align center so it matches it up perfectly. Now you'll see 1 and 2, these are the 2 layers that are showing. You're going to hit slice. Now we've got, see where it says slice result, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this one here we've just sliced out, we don't need it anymore, so get rid of that slice. This slice here, this is the piece that was from the middle. Do we need it? No, we don't, because we've got this one that fills that. Now we're going to delete that result. So now we've got our outer edge, our inner color, our 2 colors, and our centerpiece. Now you'll notice that this centerpiece, it covers that vinyl, it's still sitting on top of, so something's not quite finished. You take away our pink one, which is our main color. We're just going to grab it and pop it away here and hover this over. See how it is bigger. If I'm moving it, you can see it is bigger than our piece here, because we wanted to keep it to this size and we wanted those to be the right size, but this doesn't work. So before we slice these out, we need to make a duplicate of this blue one, because otherwise all these little bits are going to get cut. So we're going to right hand click on it, oopsie, on our image, which is this one here. Make sure you're on the right one. Right hand click and duplicate. Now we've got 2. So this is our perfect center cut and we don't want to lose it. So we're going to pop them over here to the side with our butterfly. Now we want to cut out this from this. We want to get rid of all these little bits on the inside of this outer cut. So we're going to collect the 2 items together. So we've got our slice result and our slice result. And we're going to go down to here and click slice. Okay, so now that is cut into those layers. So this is the layer we want to keep. She looks a bit funky, but it's okay. We'll look at that in a minute. So this is our slice result. We can click delete. These are our insert bits. This is why we duplicated it, because notice it's now changed it. It has cut into our image. Delete. And this is our other piece. Delete. And we're back to 1, 2, 3 layers. Okay. This layer, there's something wrong with it. Notice we've got all these little bits. So you're going to go back to your contour again, and we're going to take out all those little center pieces that we don't want to be cut out. Go down and click them all. You'll notice as I'm clicking, they're coming off of here. If I click it, they come back. Now it's gone. Okay. Now if we close this, all of those little pieces that were on the middle, they're all gone. So now we've 1 piece of HTV that we're cutting out, our border. This is our second piece of HTV, which is our center, and our third piece of HTV, which is going to be layered, and it's going to tuck inside that one. I'm going to line these up so that looks a little bit better for you. Front. So that's our butterfly. That is what it's going to look like when we cut it out. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to send it over to our machine. We're going to go make it. It's going to ask us to save. We can save the project if we want to. I'm not going to because I've already done this one. So this is our HTV over here. It's telling us this is matte 1 with our first color, matte 2 with our second color, and matte 3 with our third color. Okay. Now, when you're working with HTV, it's gonna ask you to put it on mirror, but we'll start with our first one. We're happy with everything, how it's positioned, and we're gonna click continue. Okay, so now we're over onto our machine, and we're gonna look at our material. So the type of material that I'm using is heat transfer, and it is a non-Cricut one that I use. And if you want to find your items, you can just go browse all materials, type in here heat, and it should actually come up heat transfer. So there we go, heat transfer, and you can pick what you've got. The next one I'm doing is holographic, so we will use that one, but we're going to click on this one here, which is heat transfer non-Cricut, and done. You'll see there's a little red margin or warning sign that's come up here. It says to make sure your mirror is turned on. Because you're working with HTV, it has to be face shiny side down on your mat when you place it on your mat. Okay, so you will not see the actual color. You might see the back of your mat will be probably white. Usually it is from when you're cutting, and your color will be pointing down towards your mat. So we're going to put our mirror on because it's HTV. We always mirror it, and because just so that we remember to do it with all of them, we're going to click on each one, and we're going to click our mirror on, so it's all done, and we're not going to forget to go through that. I'm going to leave the pressure as is. Got a fine point blade in, and we're going to load our mat, and then we're going to cut that one out. Okay, we've done that. Now we're back here for our second one. Now we're working on this one here, which is our middle piece, and this is going to be holographic. Okay, we're cutting this out of holographic. So I'm going to go to my material, and I'm going to browse, and I'm going to type in heat transfer again. Oops. And browse. And I'm using a holographic heat transfer now. So I'm going to click on that one and click done. So my setting is already done for this. It's on default. I'm going to leave it at that. Fine point blade. It is mirrored as it's asked here. And it says to put my material on my mat face shiny side down. And then we're going to put it in the machine and go. Okay, now that is cut out, we are on our last piece, which is our main color that we're putting on top. Now this I'm just doing out a normal heat transfer, which I've already saved. So I'm going to click on that. My mirror is on, shiny side down, pressure is normal, and we're going to cut that out now, and then we'll come back to putting the project together. We are now cutting out our canvas. We have just started trimming out because I don't like to waste, so I will cut off all that excess and put it to the side just before we start weeding it out. Now we're going to weed, and this is kind of the fun part. I really enjoy doing this, taking out all of those little bits. It's quite satisfying. And we go, and there's that little middle piece that we're going to take out, and that's that bit I used in my example, and we're not going to waste it, so I keep that for another project. So I'm taping this down because it kind of keeps rolling up on me, but we now need to weed this one out as well. And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what we're doing, so I'll just let you watch me do this. And we're on to our last piece now, this nice little bit of holographic. So here we go, insert, outer, and our main piece. So I'm just showing you here the pressure and the heat that we need to have our machine set to. Sorry, it went a bit blurry in the camera, but it doesn't matter. I'll let you know those settings in the cards. So I'm just going to put down my blanket that I am fixing for my client, and she wants the letter A here covered because she says her name is Nan, not Nana, so we're getting rid of the A. Just taking out some of the moisture first because obviously that helps when we're doing HTV. I'm just going to check it, and now positioning my first piece, which is our outlining. I'm going to place that down, and this I actually did do in a puffy, but only a light puffy one. I'm just making sure it covers properly, so I put that piece on top, and now I'm just going to tack it on. I don't want to press it too much because otherwise it's not going to tack properly, so we're just going to press it down lightly and attach that. I'll roughly do that for about 15 seconds. And then take it off, and I'm going to now check to make sure it is tacked on, and I'm going to peel off that protective sheet very gently because I don't want to lift off what I've just put on. Excellent. And I'm going to go and get my next piece, which is our insert, our big piece that goes in the center. I'm going to get that and place that on top, lining it all up. I'm just going to press that into place, make sure everything is sitting nicely, and because we're working with fabric that likes to move, I just have to make sure it all lines up and doesn't pull away. Right, now I'm happy. I'm going to swivel it round and press it for another 15 seconds just to tack on that second HTV, but not pressing it too long because we don't want it to bond fully until we stick on our final one. And there we go, that is our seconds up. I'm going to turn it, and now I'm going to peel that off very carefully, trying not to peel off the 2 bits of HTV I've put on already. Gently peel off that top sheet. Great. Remembering that is only just tacked on there. It is not fully pressed. That's just for positioning. And our final step is popping in our little holographic pieces, and I'm so sorry I did get it out of camera, and I probably should have checked this before I recorded, but I'm just lining up all those little slithers that I've cut, making sure they fit nice and neatly inside all of those little cuts that we've already made in our vinyl. And I'm going to stick this piece down, and I actually use a little bit of heat transfer tape on it as well, just to hold it into place, because I really don't want this holographic to move. Then once that's done, I'm going to swivel it around and press it for the full 45 seconds like the manufacturer's instructions ask us to do. So there you go, that's a holographic positioned on our fabric. And now I'm just going to put on a sheet of butcher's paper, because I don't want it to actually get too hot, my fabric, because this is a full 45-second press, and we're going to let that do its thing. We're done, and I'm going to lift this off now, take off the Teflon sheet, and very gently peel off that top sheet, that protective sheet. And there we go. That is our HTV layered and applied to our piece of fabric, and it looks lovely. I'm very happy with that. Thank you for watching Crafty Lab. I hope you enjoyed this new episode and learned something new. If you did, please like and share and subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit that little bell so you'll be notified when I have new episodes coming. And if you also have a comment, please place it in the feedback below, because I'll be interested to hear if there's anything you'd like me to try to show you or explain a little bit further. I'd be more than happy to give that a go. But until next time, thank you very much for watching and stay crafty, people. Bye.